odd season. It's been kind of strange. Just as soon as we have some momentum going, things kind of turn sideways. But yeah, we're top 10 in the championship. We're fighting for 6th, 7th, 8th place, and the cars have been getting better and better. We got a win this year, and you know, we've been on the podium quite a bit. It's really good qualifying. So things have been good, but yeah, we've just been either taking folks out or been taken out a lot. So it's been one of those seasons, and sometimes that happens. You just gotta kind of roll with it.
Well, what about today? What about this race? I know it's just reading on IndyCar.com. It's pretty bumpy track out there. There's a couple funky little areas. I mean, tell us what's your opinion on the track?
Well, the toughest part right now is for everybody to pick their downforce, because it is a cold day. You have cold tire temperatures, and you do gain a lot of positions or lose a lot of positions on starts and restarts. So right now the engineers are trying to figure out how much downforce do you run, how much downforce do you run compared to the next guy. That's the trickiest part, because if you take too little downforce, you're going to go into turn 1 and the rear of the car is going to have no grip, and trust me, that's not fun in these things. And then if you take too much, then once everything gets strung out and the tires are hot, then you're gonna struggle to go forward. So it's definitely a compromise, and we're trying to figure that out as I speak right now. So we'll hopefully get that all set and get going with the race. But Kentucky's a lot of fun. It's a wide track, 1.5 miles, that is just produces some great racing. I think today's race is going to be one of the better ones, just because, you know, we have almost 30 cars, 29 cars here this weekend, and IndyCar racing has never been so level, so it's gonna be a great race. I think you're in for quite a show.
Yeah, and a big strategy. Another thing that just reading is pit lane. I hear that's a little turbulent.
Yeah, pit lane's tough. They tightened it up a bit with the with whatever renovations they did for the NASCAR race. So it is really tough for us to get in, and on the out. Getting out of the pit lane, it's extremely narrow, and if you do make a mistake there, you could end up in the racing line, which would be a horrible thing. But yeah, it's tough, but that's what we do, right? We drive race cars, we got to deal with it and go get on with it. So it's part of the job, and you know, we're just happy to be here in Kentucky. It's a great racetrack and produces some awesome racing. So hopefully today is going to be a big one.
Well, that's one thing I personally respect about you when we're talking with Ryan Hunter-Reay. It's just reading that, like, there's, you know, sometimes there's a lot of complaining about things, and you're like, hey, I'm a professional race car driver, that's what I do. Everybody else has to deal with this issue, so it's an even playing ground. So I commend you for that.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's the same for everybody, absolutely. And sometimes we ask tracks to maybe change a few things, just because, you know, for IndyCar racing, they're a different type of race car. They're very lightweight, lots of horsepower, and we rely a lot on downforce, so it's a different type of deal. So sometimes when we're referring to things like that, it's just for the track to take that into consideration.
Now, we'll talk a little bit about 2012 going into it. Andretti just announced that they're going to go with Chevy. What's your feeling about going from Honda to Chevy?
Honda's done such an amazing job. Their engines are unbelievable. I drive their cars at home. They've done an amazing job, really. I mean, to push these engines to the limits that they do, and to not have engine failures it's remarkable. It almost doesn't happen these days. And you know, I really was really excited to hear that we had Chevy coming in, Lotus, and Honda now for next year. It's just going to be, it's going to make the racing that much more exciting. But to be on Team Chevy obviously has a huge history in American racing. They're doing great in NASCAR, and they've done great in IndyCar in the past. And I do have a bit of a relationship with Chevy from the past, doing a little bit of NASCAR testing, and I know some of the folks there. So I'm really looking forward to working with them again. It's just an exciting time in IndyCar. You can see the 2012 cars over there under the tent. We're already starting to work on that. I'll be testing that as soon as I think 2 weeks from now. So with the new Chevy engine in it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Chevy engine with twin turbos. It's going to be awesome. So really looking forward to it. And everybody in IndyCar is looking forward to it. It's a new car and a new thing to work on, and it's a lot of new things to tweak.
Yeah, and Roger Griffiths from Honda Performance Development, we had him up here yesterday, and he just says listening to the 3 different engines is just awesome. Yeah. And you can really differentiate which engine is flying by. So should be pretty exciting in 2012.
Absolutely, that's what IndyCar racing is about. You know, when I was growing up as a kid watching the sport, that's what the sound of turbos, and you could differentiate the different manufacturers, and this manufacturer has a better bottom end than the top end, and that one. So it really mixes the racing up, and with the new car, it's gonna make it that much more difficult for the teams to adapt too. So it's gonna be it's an exciting time to be part of IndyCar, and great time to be an IndyCar driver, that's for sure. So I'm loving it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this season, you don't know how it could get any more exciting. It's coming down the final stretch, but with 3 new engines, new chassis, 2012 looks very promising.
Absolutely, it really does, and we have a great championship battle, like you said, on our hands right now. And even the guys that are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th in the championship are really fighting hard for those positions. I mean, it's a tight race right now. So these last 2 races are going to be really exciting. I couldn't think of a better finish than Kentucky and Vegas, because man, these races are going to be nuts.
So fans, you guys have something really to look forward to. Ryan, we always look forward to having you on stage. Thank